Okay, Cultural Revolution, 1966 to 1976. Now, you can see in the people standing there, they're all holding like a little book. I'll get to that directly. But Mao wanted to bleed out everything from the past, the 5,000 years of beautiful culture that the Chinese people had, the 16 dynasties and what have you. Mao wanted to bleed all this culture out from the Chinese people and give his own understanding of how things should be. You see all the books that they've got here. This is Mao's little red book of thought. Now, the motto of the Cultural Revolution, as I finished with yesterday, was battle with heaven, fight with the earth, struggle with humans. Therein lies endless joy. Now, Mao Zedong made this book, Quotations of Chairman Mao. I did talk about before how we got together intellectuals and what have you. So all this knowledge came from somewhere other than himself or his stupid way of thinking that he had, in line with the communist philosophy. Now, it was said that 6.5 billion of these copies were made at that time. In the 60s, I think there was only, there wasn't 1.5 billion Chinese as there are today. So there was abundance of books, and Mao gave power to the students and to the peasants to go out there. They were called them the Red Guards, to go out in amongst the masses and seek out those who were still preaching anything of the past, and they were given power to do what they thought was the right thing to do. Now, Mao was a peasant from a peasant farmer, and he loved giving the power to the poor people and to the peasants as much as he did taking the power away and killing them. Now, destroy the old world and create a new world. As you can see, Buddha and Jesus statues are there underfoot. Now, these posters were put over all around China. Anything that resembled the past was to be burnt. I believe that there was over 6,000 temples that were destroyed. Statues of Jesus, and people were made. These are the people that actually were the priests and were going to church. Well, they were made to smash their idols. These are pictures here of some Buddhist monks. Now, these people, they don't want to step on an ant to hurt anything. They don't want to hurt nothing. They're just beautiful people. And they were made to stand up and shame themselves in front of the masses and denouncing their faith. This is what the Cultural Revolution did, the communism done, and Mao made them do. They're beautiful Buddhist statues they had, and they were made to publicly to smash them. So anyone that had any ideas of the past was bashed in prison or killed. Now, these are all students. These are not army. These are students that were given the power to go and do just that. And they were, then taken out. People were taken out and shamed and put in front of a court that they just, kangaroo court, and this is what happened. They would be made to be seen by everybody, and so everyone feared Mao. Feared going against Mao. A lot of them actually loved Mao, because his brainwashing techniques were huge. You can see everyone's got their little red book. Everyone read this every day, all day. If you were seen not reading it, serious consequences would happen. The children were made to believe, in fighting and killing. And from a very young age, they were saying praises of Mao and communism, the communist regime, the Communist Party. Everything was the party. Now, also in the Cultural Revolution, students were made to shame their teachers. If teachers brought up anything of the past, started teaching anything of the great cultures that they had, or the dynasties, they were shamed in front of their students, and their students were made to humiliate them, to bash them. And in 1965, this one comes to, this isn't this particular lady, but this is what happened to her. She was a respected teacher in the Beijing Girls High School, and she was, the students were made to shame her, to bash her, and then she was bashed to her knees. And this is a real story. She was bashed to her knees. The students were made to put nails into her head, and she was then burnt with boiling water until she died by her students. Now, everyone had to praise this bloody idiot. and be seen to do so. If not, serious consequences would happen, and people were chopped up and left for display on the streets at times, just so people would have fear put in them, and make sure that they didn't talk about the past or bring up the beautiful dynasties and Chinese beautiful culture. So the Chinese people were brainwashed terribly, and they were shamed, and they were shot and killed if they disagreed. Now this idiot died in 1976, which brought an end to the Cultural Revolution, and I wouldn't like to be where he is now. Now his body is still displayed in Tiananmen Square, still to today, and they are made to come and praise this idiot, and that's the end of the Cultural Revolution, was with the end of Mao. Anyway, tomorrow I'll touch on something else, the next stage, when the presidents of of China then started going out into the world and kissing babies and politician stuff, and it's shocking what they've done, and I will talk about the sister city deals and their what they've done with them.